And now, for your listening pleasure,
And here we are, Mental Health Moments Day. Oh, and I seriously had one of the most trying weeks of my life for my mental health. Hi there, I'm Helene, life coach, author, and high-value woman, and this is my podcast, Thrive, where today I'm going to help you thrive with some mental health moments. I had to have my production company go with reruns last week because the Friday before I recorded, Helene came whipping into town and we lost power for 5 days. When I realized the seriousness of this entire situation, I was immediately taken back to every hurricane and tropical storm I've been through in 18 years that I lived in Florida, and this was my first rodeo on my own. This was a real test to my emotional health, and I admit that at the very beginning I was driven with anxieties. I didn't know what would happen. I knew we were away from trees, but debris flies in a storm, and Helene was no wimp. She was a Cat 4. I asked a friend to stay with me, and that went well until it didn't, because by the end of the second day, I realized I didn't need anyone to hold my hand. All that was happening was nothing. I powered through on my own. I carried the heavy load, and the friendship hit the skids too. Funny how stressful times will do that, and I know there are people everywhere who had it tough over the past 2 weeks, and a lot tougher than me. At the very end, when the power came back on and I could pick up the food a friend stored in her freezer and get myself back on schedule, I looked back and realized I can handle it. I can handle any situation. I had good training. I sat back and I was amazed at my capabilities, and when all was said and done, I raised my coffee cup to a photo on the wall of my late husband who taught me how to handle situations like this. I had watched him do it many times. I could handle it. That's how I learned. I hope if anyone listening has had a rough time with Helene that you would talk with someone about your feelings. This storm was horrible. We cannot all handle things this big on our own. I handled a small amount of aggravation, and I'm not sure I could do anything bigger. Again, I'm Helene, life coach, author, high-value woman. This is my podcast, Thrive. Thank you all so much for listening, and that's a wrap.